So this is the Edexcel practice test set 4, paper 2H. Question 1. Complete the table of values for y equals x squared plus 2x minus 3. So starting when x is minus 4, we need to do minus 4 squared plus 2 lots of minus 4, take away 3. Minus 4 squared is 16, because a negative times a negative is a plus. 2 lots of minus 4 is minus 8, take away 3. 16 add negative 8 is 8, take away 3 would be 5. So the first value would be 5. Now this is a calculator paper, so you can just put that into your calculator and work all of these out. So to speed things up, the next number would give you 0, minus 3, minus 4, minus 3, 0 and 5. Next we need to plot these on the graph below. So at minus 4, 5, we need to plot a point. At minus 3, 0. At minus 2, minus 3. At minus 1, minus 4. 0, minus 3. 1, 0. And 2, 5. You can see we've got that parabola shape, so we know we are correct. Then we need to join this up with a smooth curve, going through all of the points. Question 2. Nick has 2 cars. Car A uses petrol and car B uses diesel. Petrol costs £1.39 a litre and diesel costs £1.47 a litre. The table below shows the average distance that Nick can drive each car using 1 litre of fuel. Nick is going to do a journey in one of his cars. The distance Nick is going to drive is 450 miles. Work out the difference in the total cost. The key word there is difference. So for car A, if he's going to travel 450 miles and the car will do 10.3 miles per litre, if we do 450 divided by 10.3, obviously this is a calculator paper, so we can do that on a calculator, it's 43.689 litres, and the price per litre is £1.39. So £1.39 times 43.689, you can leave that in your calculator so you don't have to round it off. That will give you £60 and 73 pence rounded to the nearest penny. For car B, the 450 miles, that car will do 14.6 miles to the litre, so that will give us 30.8219 litres. Again, leave that in your calculator for later. And then the price of each litre is £1.47. So we multiply that by £1.47 and it would cost him £45.31 to the nearest pence. Now we're after working out the difference in cost. So it's £60.73, take away £45.31, and that would give us £15.42. Again, all on a calculator. Question 3. Stefan is X years old. Martin is 5 years younger. So that would be X minus 5. James is twice as old as Stefan. So that would be 2x. The sum of their ages in years is less than 30. Work out the oldest age Stefan can be. So if we add these together, because it says sum, means to add together, that would be x plus x minus 5 plus 2x. And that would be less than 30. If we add the x's together, we've got 1, 2, 4 x's minus 5, and that is still less than 30. To solve this, we need to add 5 to both sides. So we get 4x is less than 35. And then to work out x, we need to divide by 4. So 35 divided by 4 is 8.75. So x is less than 8.75. Now, it asks for his age in a whole number of years. So he would be 8 years old. Question 4. Neville saw his car for sale. He got a 25% discount off the price of the car, and he paid £7,200 for the car. Work out the price of the car before the discount. Well, we don't know the price of the car before the discount, so we'll call that X. But if he had 25% off, 100% minus 25% is 75%. So the price of the car that he's got is only 75% of the price. And as a decimal, that is 0.75. So if we multiplied the price of the car by 0.75, that would give us what he paid, which is £7,200. To work out the price of the car then, x is being multiplied by 0.75. So if we divide by 0.75, then that would give us the price of the car. So x would be £9,600. Again, using a calculator. Question 5. Shabin has a biased coin. The probability of the coin landing on heads is 0.6. Shabin is going to throw the coin 3 times. She says the probability that the coin will land on tails 3 times is less than 0.1. Is she correct? Well, the probability of landing on heads is 0.6, and probabilities add up to a whole one. So the probability of landing on tails will be 0.4. If she wants to do that 3 times, we want tails and tails and tails. If we want something and something, we need to multiply those together. So that would be 0.4 times 0.4 times 0.4, which is 0.064. So yes, she is correct. Because 0.064 is less than 0.1. Question 6. There is a set of numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A is the even numbers, B is the multiples of 3. List the members of set B. So the members of set B will just be the multiples of 3 out of that, which is 3, 6, and 9. AUB means A or B, the union of A and B. So it's all the numbers that are in A or B. So all the even numbers and all the multiples of 3. So 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, and 9. ANB means the numbers that are in A and B. Just that. So that would be 6. Because 6 is the only even number that is also a multiple of 3. X is a member of this set. XEB means that X is in B. And XEB A with a line through it means that X is not in A. So what are the possible values of X? So it means it is in B and it is not in A. So the numbers that are in B but not in A are 3 and 9. Question 7. X and Y are integers such that -2 is less than or equal to X, which is less than 3, and -1 is less than Y and less than or equal to 4. Find the values of X and Y when X equals Y. Well, the first inequality means that X can be -2, -1, 0, 1, or 2. And the second inequality means that Y can be 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4. So when X is equal to Y, we are after the numbers where they can be the same. So 0, 1, or 2. Question 8. Keith, Ben and Liz tested a coin to find out whether it was biased or not. They each threw the coin a number of times and they counted the number of heads and tails that they got. The table gives you the information. Which person, Keith, Ben or Liz, will have the best estimate? Well, if we add up the number of heads and tails that Keith got, that adds up to 40. Ben must have done this experiment 100 times and Liz did it 300 times. So the more times you do an experiment, the more accurate your results are going to be. So that would be a better estimate of the probability. So Liz, as she did it the most times. More tests. Using all of the results in the table, work out an estimate for the probability that the next row of the coin will give a head. So altogether, there are 103 times that we got a head, and altogether we threw the coin 440 times. So the probability would be 103 out of 440. And as a decimal, that would be 0.23. Question 9. ABC is a triangle. D is a point on AB and E is a point on AC. DE is parallel to BC and AD is 4 centimeters, DB is 6 centimeters, DE is 5 centimeters and AE is 5.8 centimeters as shown on the diagram. Calculate the perimeter of the trapezium. So if we want the perimeter of the trapezium, which is just from here to here to here, the distance that we are missing is this one, and we are also missing this one. So we need to work out these two lengths. Now, if we draw these two triangles separately, the top triangle is 4, 5, and 5.8. And the big triangle, the total length of this side would be 10. And we can use that to work out the scale factor. So to get from 4 to 10, we are timesing by 2.5. Which means that to get from 5 to the size of the bottom, 5 times 2.5 would be 12.5 centimetres for the bottom of that trapezium. We also need to work out the length of EC, but to do that we can work out the length of AC. So if we work out the full length and then take off 5.8, then that's how we could work that out. So to get from 5.8 to the length of that side, again we need to times by 2.5. So 5.8 times 2.5 is 14.5. So the length of this side is 14.5. So to work out EC, we need to do 14.5, take away the 5.8, which is 8.7 centimetres. So to work out the perimeter then, you would have the 6 centimetres on the left, adding to that 12.5, add the 5, add the 8.7. Altogether, that will give you 32.2 centimetres. Question 10. Joe and Anne buy some fruit from the same shop. Joe buys 4 apples and 3 bananas for £2.50. Anne buys 3 apples and 4 bananas for £2.40. Work out the cost of an apple and a banana. Okay, so if we set up some simultaneous equations for this, the first one would be 4a plus 3b equals, I'm going to put it as 250, so it's in pence. And then the second one would be 3a add 4b equals 240. Now you'll notice that we don't have the same amount of apples or bananas, so we're going to need to change both of these, okay? So we're going to times the top one by 3 and the bottom one by 4, so we get the same amount of apples in each. So number 1 will now become number 3. So timesing that by 3, you will get 12a plus 9b equals 750. And number 2 will now become number 4. Timesing that by 4, you would get 12a plus 16b equals 960. Now, to get rid of the apples in this, we could take one from the other. I would actually take 4 from 3 because that would save us getting negative numbers. So if we do 12a take 12a is no a's, that's the whole point of doing it. 16b's take away 9b's is going to be 7b's. And 960 take away 750 is 210. So if we divide 210 by 7, we get that the price of a banana is 30 pence. Once we know that the price of a banana is 30 pence, we can substitute that into one of the original equations. So I'm going to substitute that into the first one. So 3 lots of 30 for the price of the bananas, and that was 250 pence. So 4 apples plus 90 pence would be 250. Take the 90 off both sides, we get 160. And divide by 4, we would get 40 pence per apple. So an apple is 40 pence and a banana is 30 pence. Just a quick one on the answer line there. The answer is in pence, so we can leave it as 40 and 30. Just make sure they get the right units on the answer line. Question 11. Gail invests in an account that pays compound interest of 5% per annum. 5% per annum would mean that we would multiply by 1.05 each year to get the new amount in the account. How many years does it take to double the money? So basically, we want 200% of the money, which is multiplying by 2. So that's going to be quite a long time, because even if we just add on 5% a year, that's going to take quite a long time. So I'm going to start at 10 years. So 1.05 to the power of 10, that would give me 1.62. So she'd have got a 62% increase. I'm going to jump on a little bit further there because I'm still quite a way off. So I'm going to jump to 12. So 1.05 to the power of 12 would be 1.79. Again, I'm quite a way off. So I'm going to jump to 14. So 1.05 to the power of 14 would be 1.97. So she's got a 97% increase. So we're nearly there. We'll just try to go up 1 year this time. So to the power of 15, which is 2.07. So it would take 15 years to double the money. Question 12. There are only 4 mint biscuits and 1 toffee biscuit in a tin. There are only 5 mint sweets and 3 strawberry sweets in a packet. Michael's mum lets him take 1 biscuit from the tin and 1 sweet from the packet. Michael takes a biscuit at random from the tin and also takes a sweet at random from the packet. Work out the probability that either the biscuit is mint or the sweet is mint, but not both. So for this one, I would draw a tree diagram. So mint and toffee on the first one for the biscuits. And probability of getting a mint would be 4/5. Probability of getting a toffee would be 1/5. For the sweets, you've got mint, which would be 5/8, and you've got strawberry, which would be 3/8. And again, on this one, mint would be 5/8, and strawberry would be 3/8. Now, we only want only one of them to be mint. So to do that, we can either have mint and strawberry, or we can have toffee and mint. So it's these two that we're after. The probability of mint and strawberry is 4/5 times 3/8, which is 12/40. And the probability of getting toffee and then mint is 1/5 times 5/8, which is 5/40. Because we're not bothered which way around we do that, we can have that or that, so we're going to add them together, which will give me 17/40. Question 13. The diagram gives information about 2 paintings, A and B. Each painting is in the shape of a rectangle. Painting A has an area of 1,725 centimetres squared, bigger than the area of painting B. That means the difference between the two is 1,725. Work out the area of painting A. So the area of A is 50 times 2x minus 10. Length times width, which is 100x minus 500. Area of B is 35 times x plus 20, which is 35x plus 700. We know that the difference between the two, so A take B, is 1,725. So if we take these away from each other, 100x minus 500, and we take away from that 35x plus 700, but if we're taking away plus 700, that'd be like minus 700. That would be equal to 1,725. Simplifying that out, we get 65x minus 1,200 equals 1,725. So 65x equals 2,925. So x divided by 6 will give us 45. Now, we're not after x, we're actually after the area. So the area of A would be 50 times 2 lots of 45, take away 10. So 2 lots of 45 take away 10 is 80. So 50 times 80 is 4,000 centimetres squared. Just fit that on the answer line. Question 14. The average fuel consumption, C, of a car in kilometres per litre is given by the formula C equals D over F, where D is the distance travelled in kilometres and F is the fuel used in litres. If we've got D measured to be 190 measured to 3 significant figures and F to 25.7 correct to 1 decimal place, by considering bounds we need to figure out a sensible degree of accuracy. Well, if we find out the smallest it can be and the biggest it can be, we can then start to think about what's sensible. Okay? So, first of all, 190 to 3 significant figures. The smallest that could be, it's been rounded to the nearest 10 because 3 significant figures. Sorry, it's been rounded to the nearest whole one because 3 significant figures into the units. So that could be anywhere from 89.5. Sorry, I'll use D there. To 190.5. 25.7 is to 1 decimal place. So that can be anywhere from 25.65 up to 25.75. Now, to work out the max fuel consumption, you would want to do D max divided by F min, because the smaller number you divide by, the bigger answer you're going to get. So that would be 190.5 divided by 25.65. And that would give you 7.4269005847. To work out the minimum fuel consumption, you want to do the minimum D divided by the maximum F. So in this case, it would be 189.5 divided by 25.75, and that would give you 7.35922235. Now, we can see that both of these calculations would round to 7.4, to one decimal place. So because they both round to 7.4, the most sensible degree of accuracy would be to one decimal place. So both calculations round to 7.4 to one decimal place. Question 15. Here is a sketch of the graph y equals 9 minus x squared. The graph is used to model the cross-section of a tunnel. The unshaded area is the cross-section of the tunnel. Calculate an estimate of the area of the cross-section. So, to find the area of a curve like that, we need to be splitting that into shapes that we can actually find the area of. So, if I split this up every one, going straight up as accurately as we can, if I call that shape A is a triangle with a width of 1 and a height of 5. Because it's a triangle, I need to do 1 times 5 and half it, which is 2.5. Shape B would have a height of 8 on the right hand side and a height of 5 on the left hand side. Now that's actually a trapezium. So to do a trapezium, we'd add together two parallel sides, so 5 add 8 and half it, and multiply that by the distance between them, so 1. So 5 add 8 is 13 and half it is 6.5. And multiply by 1 leaves it at 6.5. And the area of C, this shape here, the left hand side of it is 8 and the right hand side of it is 9. And again it's a trapezium, so 8 add 9 over 2 multiplied by the distance between them, which is 1. So 8 add 9 is 17, half that is 8.5. Now we know that a parabola, which is the graph of an x squared function, would be symmetrical. So we can just work out the left hand side and add that to double that to make the right hand side as well. So if we add these three together, we get 17.5 and multiply that by 2 because the other side will be exactly the same, gives us 35 for the area of that tunnel. Question 16. The number of rabbits on a farm in n months from now is Rn, where R0 is 200 and Rn plus 1 equals 1.2 Rn minus 35. How many rabbits will there be in 3 months from now? Well, to work out how many is going to be in the next month, we use the formula 1.2 times the previous month, take away 35. So at the start, there are 200 rabbits. We need to multiply that by 1.2 and take off 35. So 200 times 1.2 is 240. And take off the 35 is 205 rabbits. So R1, so after 1 month there'll be 205 rabbits. To work out the second month, again we use the same formula, but we put in the previous month's figures. So 205 times 1.2, take away 35, and that would equal 211. To get the third month, we use the previous month's numbers, so 211 times 1.2, take away 35, and that would give us 218.2. So obviously can't have 0.2 of a rabbit, so it would be 218. Question 18. In the diagram, ABC is aligned with the equation y equals minus half x plus 5. AB equals BC, and D is the point with the coordinates minus 13, 0. So we know this is at minus 13. We also know that the y-intercept of the first line would be 5, so we know that B is at 5. If we want to work out the equation of the line, then we need 2 points on that line. We've already got D, but we need to work out what the coordinates of A. So to do that, we can find the coordinates of C by putting the first equation equal to 0, because when y is 0, that is where it crosses the x-axis. So that would mean that a half x is equal to 5, so x would be equal to 10. So we know that this point here is at 10, and because the lines are equal, So we know that that there must be minus 10. If we're going up 5 and the lines are equal, we also know that that there must also be 10. So the coordinates of A are minus 10, 10. And we know the coordinates of D are minus 13, 0. We can use that to work out the equation of a line. So the equation of a line is y equals mx plus or minus c. First of all, m is the gradient, so that is the change in y divided by the change in x. The change in y is 10, and the change in x is 3. So m is 10 over 3, or 3 1/3. I'm going to leave it as a fraction for now because that's a little bit easier. So our equation will be 10 over 3 x plus or minus c. To find the value of c, if we put the equation equal to 0 again, we know that when y is 0, x is minus 13. So 10 times minus 13 is minus 130 over 3. And to make that equal to 0, c must therefore be 130 over 3. So the equation of the line is y equals 10 over 3x plus 130 over 3. And again, you can leave those as fractions, or you can actually work those out. Question 19. H is inversely proportional to the square of r. When r is 5 and h is 3.4, find the value of h for r being 8. Well, we start off with h being proportional to the inverse of r squared. K is the constant of proportionality which we need to work out. So if h is 3.4 when r is 5, then 5 squared is 25. So we need to do 3.4 times 25 to work out k, which gives k to be 85. So our formula is h equals 85 over r squared. Now, if r equals 8, to work out h, we just do 85 divided by 8 squared. So 85 divided by 64 is 1.328125. Question 20. Solve 4 over x plus 3 plus 3 over 2x minus 1 equals 1. Well, the first thing I want to do is put them both over a common denominator. So I'm going to multiply the first fraction by 2x plus 1, sorry, 2x minus 1. And I'm going to multiply the second fraction by x plus 3. So that will give me 4 brackets 2x minus 1 over x plus 3, 2x minus 1. And add to that 3 brackets x plus 3 over x plus 3, 2x minus 1. And that will be equal to 1. If we put that over a single bracket now, we have x plus 3 times 2x minus 1 as the common denominator. And if we expand the brackets, we'll have 3x plus 9. And that will all equal 1. If we want to get rid of the fraction, we want to take the entire of the bottom of the left-hand side up to the right-hand side and multiply. So 1 times the bottom of that will just give us 8x plus 3x is 11x, minus 4 plus 9 is plus 5, and that will equal x plus 3 times 2x minus 1. To get that all equal to 0, we need to take the 11x plus 5 on the other side and expand it out. So if I expand out these brackets, I will get 2x squared minus x plus 6x minus 3. And if I take the 11x and the 5 off that side as well, I'll get x squared minus 3x minus 4. That will factorise to x minus 4, x plus 1. So the values of x are 4, making the first bracket 0, or minus 1, making the second bracket 0. Question 21. The histogram gives information about the speeds in kilometres an hour of some cars on the road. Work out an estimate for the median speed. Give your answer correct to 1 decimal place. Well, as you can see, we don't have any information about how many cars are in each section. So to do this, we need a frequency density. So if we make ours up at the side, go 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. We can just use that because we are only estimating. We're only after the middle number. So whatever the frequency density is, it will still give us the same answer. So the area of the first bar is 2.5 wide, and it is 3.8 tall. So 2.5 times 3.8 is 9.5. The second bar is 7.5 wide and 4.7 tall. So the area of that one is 35.25. The third bar is 5 wide and 2.8 tall. So that will give us 14. And the last bar is 15 times 0.7, which gives us 10.5. If we add that together, that gives us 69.25. Now, obviously, we can't have 69.25 cars, but because this is an estimate, we're just trying to find where the middle is. So that doesn't matter. So the middle of that, if we divide that by 2, would give us 34.625. So we need to find where along the bottom axis 34.625 cars would be. So in the first bar, that represents 9.5 cars. So if we do 34.625 minus those 9.5 cars, that would mean in the second group, we need to be 25.625 cars along. Okay. Now the height of the second group is 4.7. So if we do 25.625 divided by 4.7, the height of the bar, that would tell us that we need to be 5.3 kilometers an hour along that bar. So the start of that bar was at 55, so we need to do 55 plus 5.3 will tell us that the median speed was 60.3 kilometers an hour.